good and came out of the game fine. So played a lot of minutes, a lot of heavy burden on them, but they both came through really well and feel good this morning.
And then is James and Kyrie available for game 6?
Yeah, Kyrie is out, but James is available.
And will Kyrie travel, and was he in the building last night? And then I'm done, I promise.
I don't think he'll travel. He'll probably stay back to rehab. I'm not sure if he was in the building or not last night. Sorry.
Bruce Beck with NBC New York.
Hey, Steve, how do you approach game 6 in terms of minutes for Durant and Harden, and in terms of laying it all on the line physically versus being smart for the journey to try to win a championship?
I think that's something that we have to feel out as we go. There is no championship if you don't get out of the series. So, there's obviously a point where you have to go and you have to play like we did last night. So, if it presents itself that we don't have to overburden them, we'd be happy not to. But if we have to, we have to, and that's just the nature of it.
Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, you had some great performance from Kevin, and then obviously some sound performances from Blake and Jeff. But outside of those 3 guys, you didn't really get what you probably would have wanted. What do you do to kind of up the level of the role players that didn't necessarily step up in Game 5?
Yeah, I thought it was a difficult game in that it's just more change, and I thought it took us a while to kind of get going. Obviously getting James back was different. Having James back in the capacity he was in is different. Having Kai out is different. So I think a lot of it was just, again, more change, more newness, and we kind of figured some things out throughout the game, but it took us a while. And so I think that more than anything is how I saw it. I don't know why I can't hear you, Christian.
I guess I have a follow-up now. Just can you kind of just talk about what it's going to take in a game 6 on the road when this team is going to be desperate to protect their home floor? Like, what are some of the things that you're going to have to key in on to try to get a win on the road?
Yeah, we always start with the fundamentals, sticking to the game plan, great competitive spirit, connectivity. We can go into how much time you have on every detail of the game, but the reality is the non-negotiables, the fight and spirit and togetherness is where I'd start. And, before I move on to the next categories.
Tom Dowd with BrooklynNets.com.
Hey, Steve, going into the game with James last night, not being 100%, not having played in over a week, what were you hoping he could give you, and what did you feel like ultimately you got?
Well, I didn't know at all what he could give us. I really didn't. And, it was very, unusual feeling to throw a player out there and not know how he's going to handle it physically or with his performance. So that was tricky. But what we got was, I think we got confidence having him on the floor. We got some playmaking, decision-making, ball handling. He made a few passes that only he could make. And, I think he was, he played a lot of minutes. He's not James at 100% clearly, but, he's still able to, run the team, give us confidence, give us poise. And I thought he did an incredible job on the circumstance of just playing the game and playing so many minutes, being able to manage himself and contribute was incredible.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, Steve, I'm not asking you what % you think James is at, but do you expect it to be higher in game 6, having shaken off the rust and having gotten back out the court? Or do you figure 46 minutes puts a fair amount of fatigue on those legs? And then my only other question was the Bucks didn't appear, at least to my untrained eye, to really be attacking him that much defensively. Do you expect that's something, playoffs being what they are, adjustments to the adjustments, that you might see them go after him and target him more on the defensive end?
I think I don't know at all what James will look like from the next game compared to last night. But, I think there's certain things that he's going to feel more comfortable with just from the comfort of having played more basketball, having a game under his belt, having felt it out there. That can only make him more comfortable and improve if physically he's okay. And so far he is. I don't know. I mean, maybe they will try to target him more. It's not really what they do, so it would be a departure in some ways. But they may, and we'll be ready for that as well.
Adam Zagoria with Forbes.
Hey, Steve. I think something like 8 NBA All-Stars have missed a playoff game here already with, Kyrie, James, Kawhi, AD. Does it seem almost like this playoffs is a war of attrition for all the teams involved? And, is there any common thread that the fact that this season followed a shortened, pandemic season?
Yeah, I think that the championship this year will be decided on health as much as anything. I don't know about the shortened off season as much as the condensed schedule. I think we're seeing a lot of players who've had an incredibly intense workload for a number of months now. And, that is just difficult. You're playing 4 games a week, basically, over the course of 4 or 5 months, whatever it is, 5 months. That's just a lot, and it catches up with you. And so I think it's understandable why we're seeing that. And that's what the parameters are. It's a battle of attrition this season as much as it is anything.
Cassidy Hubbarth with ESPN.
Hey, Coach, is there anything that you can tell us about the treatment that Kyrie is getting, whether it's on court or just off court?
Yeah, just off court. Right now, I'm not positive, and I'm sure he's getting some manual therapy and some modules, and just trying to get the swelling down and to speed the recovery as quickly as possible.
Back to Brian Lewis.
Hi, Steve. I was just curious whether you ever got a grade on Kyrie, 1, 2, 3.
I didn't. Sorry. Maybe I should know that.
Matt Brooks with Nets Daily.
Hey, Steve. Joe's had a couple of quieter games for his standards. A, do you feel like he's due? And B, have you had any discussions with him just coming into this next game?
Yeah, I would say he's due. I mean, it's interesting. Maybe I should talk to him, but I have I have all the confidence in the world in Joe. So I every time he shoots the ball, I think it's going in, and that hasn't changed in the last 3 games, and it won't change tomorrow night. We all go through stages where the ball doesn't go in the basket, and it happens. But that doesn't diminish my kind of respect and confidence in Joe at all.
Last question, Ajayi Brown with NetsWire.
Hey, Steve. So yesterday after the game, you gave Kevin Durant one of the most determined hugs I've ever seen. I don't think anybody could have stopped you from getting that hug. Can you kind of walk me through the emotions during that moment and what was going through your head?
My wife and daughters certainly enjoyed that. They've been killing me for the last, 15 hours. I was just really proud of him. I know what he puts on the line every night, and his work ethic and his routine, and just the commitment he gave to that rehab of a career-threatening injury, and to be back all the way back and having maybe his best playoff performance ever it's incredible. And so I was just really proud of him, happy for him, and grateful, as our leader, for him to come out there and play like that. It's remarkable, and I just wanted to show my appreciation and get killed for it by my family.
Thanks so much, Coach. We appreciate it.
Thank you.